What's your I did not see that one coming story? I always trusted my husband Dylan completely, but after our second baby was born, everything changed. He started staying out late 3 nights a week, stopped letting me see his phone, and got super quiet during dinner. I'm not usually the jealous type, but something felt really off about the whole thing. One night I smelled perfume on his collar and my stomach just dropped. Dylan would tell me he was going to the gym, but when I checked his workout clothes later, they looked barely used, like he hadn't even broken a sweat. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid, but the feeling wouldn't go away. So last Wednesday, I asked my sister Emma to watch the kids and decided to follow him. I stayed a few cars behind the whole time, my hands literally shaking on the steering wheel. I was expecting him to pull up to some woman's house or a hotel or something. Instead, he parked outside this random strip mall and walked into the grocery store. I sat in my car for like an hour, completely confused. Who goes to the grocery store for a secret affair? Finally, I got out and followed him inside. He wasn't shopping for normal stuff though. He was standing in the baby formula aisle looking totally lost and overwhelmed. Then he pulled out this handwritten list and started grabbing items. Diapers, baby wipes, formula, tiny socks, everything for a newborn. I watched him from behind a display of cereal trying to figure out what was happening. He paid in cash, which was weird because we always use our card for groceries. But here's where it gets crazy. Instead of leaving through the main exit, he went out the side door, so I followed him again. Outside, there was this woman sitting on a bench with a stroller. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept in weeks. Dylan walked up to her, handed over all the bags, and gave her this gentle hug. Then he leaned down and whispered something to the baby in the stroller. My heart literally stopped. This woman wasn't anyone I recognized, and that definitely wasn't our baby. I felt like I couldn't breathe. All those late nights, the secrecy, buying baby stuff with cash, it all made sense now, but not in the way I expected. I didn't confront him that night. I went home and pretended everything was normal, but I barely slept. The next morning, after he left for work, I called him and told him exactly what I saw. No accusations, just the facts. Dylan went completely silent for like 30 seconds. Then I heard him start crying on the phone. He came home early and sat me down at our kitchen table. With tears streaming down his face, he finally told me the truth. The woman was his best friend Kevin's sister, Nicole. Kevin had died in a car accident 6 months ago, right before his baby was born. Nicole had no family nearby, no support system, and she was too proud to ask for help or go to shelters. Before Kevin died, Dylan had promised him that if anything ever happened, he'd look after Nicole and the baby. So 3 nights a week, Dylan was buying supplies and helping them survive. Nicole didn't want handouts, but she needed basics like formula and diapers. Dylan hadn't told me because he thought I'd be stressed about the money, especially with our own 2 kids and me still recovering from childbirth. I just sat there feeling like the worst person alive.